All right, so I'm walking out the door with a diaper bag on my back, a towel in one arm, my toddler in the other, and she's excited because we're going to the pool. And I'm excited because, well, we're going to the pool. You see, it's 109 degrees outside, which it's been every day for the past month, it feels like, and the only thing that we can do to stay sane is go to the pool. And that means I'm basically living in swim trunks. I've worn swim trunks more this summer than ever before in my life. Now, on this particular day, I happen to be wearing Vilebrequin flat front trunks, which cost a cool $280. And between the chlorine and the sunscreen stains and the diaper changes and the baking hot UV rays, I have put these trunks through the ringer. And it feels a little ridiculous because for most of my life, I never spent more than $15 on a pair of trunks. I just bought cheap ones from brands like H&M or ASOS, or like this pair of ocean threads that I found in the kids section of Ross just to get some B-roll for this video. But as I've gotten older, I've come to appreciate quality over quantity. I'd rather buy one nice pair of swim trunks that's gonna last for several years rather than a new cheap pair every summer. Still, as I arrive at the splash pad with my diaper bag full of baby wipes and Teddy Grahams and start slathering sunscreen on my little bundle of joy, I can't help but wonder, are $280 swim trunks just stupid? Should anyone actually buy these? Like, what's really the difference between $20 and $200 swim trunks? And I thought to myself, you should make a video about that. So here we are, and I'm gonna answer that question right after a huge thank you to today's sponsor, NOMOS. NOMOS Glashütte is a German luxury watchmaker that since 1990 has been making some of the coolest, most innovative mechanical watches you can buy. I've worn many NOMOS watches, including the famous Tangente, the Metro Date, the Tetra, and the neomatik that has been my daily driver for months at a time. Today I'm excited to show off the Ahoi neomatik 38 Date, which is a rare watch that you can wear to a job interview and then immediately go snorkeling. This 20 ATM automatic watch isn't your typical chunky diver. The case is just 38.5 millimeters wide and it's less than 10 millimeters tall, so it'll slide right underneath the cuff of any button-up shirt. I don't know how NOMOS fit their house-made caliber DUW 6101 in such a small package, but color me impressed. Speaking of colors, this watch comes in two, sky and sand. Sky is a light desaturated blue, and sand is a warm tan color that looks incredible in all different types of lighting. In true NOMOS style, both dials have a couple of small colorful accents, and both watches have loomed hour markers and hands for visibility in the dark. And if you want something even smaller, the Ahoi Atlantic is just 36 millimeters wide. It still has 200 meters of water resistance. I actually love the 36 millimeter size for my wrist, but both of these watches are totally wearable on any wrist size. Regardless, you're getting a see-through case back or exhibition case back that lets you admire the in-house automatic movements powering these incredible timepieces. And in my opinion, the Ahoi looks just right with a pair of chino shorts and a button-up shirt and slip-on leather shoes. It also feels great with a pair of swim trunks and a more casual short sleeve button-up. And the best part is, I don't have to take the watch off to actually jump in the water. Anyway, I can make a whole video about these watches, but if you want more details and specs, go over to nomos-glashütte.com and you can get all the details there. I'll also leave links down below in the description to both of these exact models. Huge thank you again to NOMOS for their continued support of this channel. Okay, so are fancy pants swim trunks worth the premium price tag? I don't think designer swim trunks are worth it. It's just too much money for a pair of shorts. Yes, you're getting a better product. In my experience, these designer or luxury swim trunks are very comfortable. They look a little better. They're probably gonna age well and last longer than cheap trunks. But you're also paying a markup for the brand and its status. If you think about it, a pair of lined nylon shorts can only be so expensive to manufacture. You can only spend so much money on a yard of nylon and some drawstrings and a zipper and some mesh lining. And it doesn't take that much effort to sew together such a simple garment. So a lot of the price has to do with brand and marketing. But I'm not saying you should buy cheap swim trunks either. I actually can't stand wearing swimwear from fast fashion brands like H&M or ASOS, especially after experiencing the highest quality available from brands like Vilebrequin and Orlebar Brown. I also think it's important to remember that the price of clothing factors in some of the things that you can't see, like where it was made and under what conditions. And I think companies should price their clothes in a way that leaves enough margin to pay workers fairly. Like, think about it. These cheap trunks that I got from Ross, they cost $7, originally $20, marked down to $7. How is that possible? Like, how could Ross and the company that made these trunks both make a profit? Someone has to get screwed in that process. And it's not Ross, it's not the customer. It's probably the people at the beginning of the process, like the farmers who are actually growing the raw materials and the garment factory workers who are sewing it all together. I really think we should try to avoid brands like that. But here's the good news. If you don't want to support fast fashion, but you also don't want to drop $200+ on a pair of fancy luxury swim trunks, there's a nice middle ground. I'm talking about brands like Chubbies and Bird Dogs and Fair Harbor and even Patagonia and Bonobos. I actually really like my Chubbies and Bird Dog swim trunks. They're so much better than these cheap ones from Ocean Threads, which doesn't even sound like a real brand. It sounds like it was made up by ChatGPT. But these middle ground brands like Chubbies are also much more reasonably priced than Phil Brecken and Orla Bar Brown. For most guys, this middle ground is the sweet spot. You know, if you've been buying $20 trunks from Uniqlo or H&M, you know, spend a little more, 40 or 50 on a pair from Chubbies or Patagonia or Fair Harbor, and I think you'll be impressed. Now that said, if you do have the money and you want to experience the very best, then yes, premium quality, luxury, fancy designer swim trunks are pretty nice. I really do feel good wearing my Orla Bar Brown Bulldog Sports. And these flat front swim trunks from Phil Brecken do look a little better than the Chubbies in my opinion. Both brands are crazy durable, both have held up for many years. Especially if you can find one of these brands on sale, you really can't go wrong. Now, if you are trying to decide between these two brands, I like them both, but for different reasons. Orla Bar Brown has the superior waistband with these cool side adjusters. The sport fabric is nice and stretchy, but it is a bit shiny and swishy. Phil Brecken uses a less shiny, less swishy fabric, and the back pocket is deeper and more functional. I think the Bulldogs have a slightly more comfortable mesh lining, but both pairs are very comfortable. The fit on each of them is just right. They're slim, but not tight or restrictive. I think the Phil Breckens are just slightly more tapered. If you splurge on either of these brands, I'm pretty sure you're gonna be satisfied. But just a reminder, never go into credit card debt for clothing. If you can only afford cheap trunks right now, that's fine. My advice is to buy the highest quality you can afford at any given time. You can always upgrade later, but I think you'll be happier if you focus on fewer, better things. That's been my approach to swimwear for the last few years, and it served me well, especially now that I'm a part-time lifeguard at the kiddie pool. So the bottom line, are designer swim trunks worth it? Probably not, but it is worth spending a little more to avoid fast fashion trunks. Anyway, thank you for watching my swimwear TED Talk. Thank you to NOMOS again for supporting the channel. Definitely go check them out. Links down below in the description. If you have any questions for me about NOMOS or swim trunks or luxury fashion or anything else, any video ideas, leave them down below in the comments section. Thank you as always for watching, and until next time, stay stylish.